Good morning. Well, when you signed up for meteorology, there are certain things you might have already heard of ahead of time. Maybe you'd heard of cumulus clouds or something like that, heard of weather maps. One thing you probably heard of is fronts, like cold fronts and warm fronts. But what the heck are they? And why would you call anything a front instead of a back or whatever? First of all, the origin of the word, take it way back. Um, I'd like to ask you where you think the word came from, but you're not here. I can do the little pause. You know, I'll tell you how far back it goes. It goes back just over 100 years to about 1917, 1918. What was going on besides another pandemic? Right, a war. And in wars, ever heard things like all's quiet on the Western Front? Battlefront. Yeah, battlefronts. That's what it is. And the people we can blame for naming weather systems fronts are the Norwegians. I don't know exactly why, but Norwegians were trying to figure out what was going on with the weather. The science was kind of young, and they had a metaphor in their heads: battlefronts between armies, between occupying armies. And it's where the war is raging, and there's a mass of troops on this side and a mass of troops on this side. Look, we're following up straight on chapter 8 about air masses. Guess what happens when air masses have a war? You have fronts, battle lines drawn between them. Now, it's a little bit arbitrary. You don't see the air exactly, and where air is having war with another air might not always be terribly clear, but sometimes it's clear enough to be worth talking about. The metaphor has a certain reality to it. So I guess I'll say it this way. I sort of pretty much kind of believe in fronts. Just because you can draw something on a map doesn't mean it's real, does it? But if it's a useful concept, I'm going with it. And I am. So here's what a front is all about. First of all, you have to understand the air mass thing, but that's what chapter 8 was about. So let's see, I've got some glare. Oh, look at that. Got some glare here. But I want to draw a side view of an air mass. I think I want to draw a side view of a continental polar air mass. It's cold, it's dense. So here's the deal. No, you gotta be kidding me. My marker? Hope this one works. Yep, yeah. Corner. Okay, there is the land, but there's a city. Get it? There's a mountain. There's trees. So I think you get the context there. Here's what a continental polar air mass will look like from the side. And this is it. That's your cold air. It has this shape to it, sort of. Perhaps you've baked cookies before, or seen cookies baking. You've plopped a guava dough on there, and you put it in the oven, and you can watch in the oven. It's all hot in there. You're glad you're not in there, right? And then you see the cookie spreading out, and it starts occupying cookie sheet that it previously didn't occupy. It kind of settles down and oozes and slides. Yeah. Anyway, it kind of oozes and slides across the cookie sheet. Imagine the cold air being a little like that. It's cold, so it's dense. So since it's dense, it kind of heavy, hugs the ground, and it's sliding and oozing. Now, it may actually move. Cookies don't do that so much on a cookie sheet unless you got it really, really, really greased up good and tilt it. Then maybe it could slide down the cookie sheet. But anyway, this cold air mass is moving. Now, what's it moving into? Well, cookies don't usually invade other cookies. Oh, they can. I'll use that example a little bit. This is warm air. Actually, let me go and label these things with our fancy words. This is continental polar. This is probably maritime tropical. Why do I put the warm air up above the cold air? Because it's lighter, it's less dense. Being warmer and being humid helps too. Because humid air is less dense. I forget if I made a point of that or not. It is, because water molecules are less massive than nitrogen or oxygen molecules, so they aren't as massive for the same volume. So it makes humid air less dense. I hope this video is still going. I can't really tell.